but all they had were big dinosaurs. And it comes down to a couple of things. First off, scientists have egos, and scientists like to name dinosaurs. They like to name anything. Everybody likes to have their own animal that they named. And so every time they found something that looked a little different, they named it something different. And what happened, of course, is we ended up with a whole bunch of different dinosaurs. In 1975, a light went on in somebody's head. Dr. Peter Dodson at the University of Pennsylvania actually realized that dinosaurs grew kind of like birds do, which is different than the way reptiles grow. And in fact, he used the cassowary as an example. This is where people went astray again. I mean, if they'd have just taken Peter Dodson's work and gone on with that, then we would have a lot less dinosaurs than we have. But scientists have egos. They like to name things. And so they went on naming dinosaurs because they were different. Now, we have a way of actually testing to see whether a dinosaur or any animal is a young one or an older one. And that's by actually cutting into their bones. But cutting into the bones of a dinosaur is hard to do, as you can imagine, because museums' bones are precious, right? You go into a museum and they take really good care of them. They put them in foam little containers, and I mean, they're very well taken care of. They don't like it if you come in and want to saw them open and look inside.
What's this new paper
so this new paper, so now that we've done our work of introducing dinosaurs, this new paper is the result of quite a comprehensive new cladistic analysis that takes into account really a greater number of different dinosaur species and different anatomical features than previous studies have done. So I think it's a very thorough piece of work in terms of examining lots of different types of dinosaurs and their anatomy. This through a computer, and they got out a result that no one has ever really found before in a cladistic analysis of dinosaurs. So this is the tree that they uncovered. So remember, we have our sauropods, our theropods, and our ornithischians. Before the theropods, with the sauropods over here. Now, the theropods are the sister group to the ornithischians, and they name this group Ornithoscelida. And this is actually kind of a resurrection of an old name that Thomas Huxley had applied to some dinosaurs. He was Charles Darwin's great supporter. He had come up with that name, but they sort of resurrected this old name to refer to this new grouping of theropods and ornithischians, which maybe on the face of it seems somewhat counterintuitive or contradictory based on things like the hip bones that we looked at. But And so these, I think going forward, some of these anatomical features are going to be, heavily debated, and sort of the interpretations of them will be argued about in the literature going forward. But I think this study does a very good job of maybe challenging us to rethink some of our assumptions based on really a wealth of new evidence. But I would say it remains to be seen, whether this will become sort of the new orthodoxy for the next 130 years, or who knows, maybe there will be new dinosaurs discovered, later this year that, might overturn this whole thing. We just don't know. Because anytime you find a new species and you put it into an analysis like this, it has the potential to change the arrangement of the evolutionary tree. So science is always discovering new things, always moving forward. I think one important thing to keep in mind is that all the things that we've learned about dinosaurs previously, about their biology, so about the way dinosaurs grew, about the way they reproduced, about their eggs, about their behavior, all of those things haven't really changed. Maybe
Dinosaurs may not have been able to make noises similar to modern bird calls, but most likely made closed-mouth sounds similar to ostrich booms that don't require a syrinx.
Probably nearly all carnivorous dinosaurs were covered in some kind of feathery covering, and many of them would have had something like this, which is fluffy, downy feathers, but others would have been covered in feathers much more like the kind you see on modern birds.
We actually know that from the fossils too, don't we?
We absolutely do.
it's really difficult to sort of sort out relationships when these animals are so either sharing primitive features or they're convergently evolving on similar body types. And so it's difficult to sort out, what exactly is going on. It's really, easy to see that the later represented these groups are very different from one another, like a Tyrannosaurus versus an Apatosaurus versus a Triceratops. Those are all very different looking dinosaurs, but when you find their earliest ancestors, they're all pretty similar, and so it can be a bit difficult to sort out. But
and then there's this thing called Draco Rex, Hogwarts eye. Guess where that came from? Dragon. So. I usually just say, well, you know, dinosaurs were big, different, and gone. They're all gone. Well, that's not true, but we'll get to the goose in a minute.